What's going on, everyone? This is the Raikazi here, and we are going to be starting off this video with some joy. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and start this off once again and say that the Pokemon Company is, in fact, listening to me. And if you don't believe me, let's go ahead and look at the clip that I posted back when we were talking about the different Mega Evolution. What if, and honestly, I have even a little bit of a little side thing where I can say, okay, maybe they can do something even with Pikachu to try to make it like it's Raichu. But what if we take the original form of Gorochu? For those of you that don't know, Gorochu was the original evolution of Raichu. However, they scrapped that many years ago before it ever even came out. So what if we had a Pikachu, or even Raichu, that can Mega Evolve? Because you know, if they're always going to try to do something very special with Pikachu, then they'll just do it for Pikachu. And they say Pikachu can Mega Evolve into a Gorochu. Or you can say a Raichu, because honestly, Pikachu not having a held item and with its stats, I don't think that's going to really work. So I would say you give it to Raichu, let it Mega Evolve. Yes, it'll be called Mega Raichu. However, it will look very similar to that of Gorochu. Or maybe add another tail, or maybe add something else that just adds to the lore. But I would be totally fine if you just simply made it look like Gorochu and just boosted its stats even further and made Raichu even more viable in the competitive scene. So not only did they come through with giving me finally a Raichu Mega Evolution, they have given me two Raichu Mega Evolutions. And now these boys are gorgeous! I mean, you know, y'all know that Raichu is my favorite Pokemon of all time. And I've been wanting Raichu to have that love. And here we go. We finally got that. So the Mega Raichu X is gonna be, looks seemingly more of the physical variant, while the Mega Raichu Y looks more of a faster special attacking variant, as one is throwing hands for the X, and the other one is just like, you know, more of a distance. Looks like it's just about to shock everything. So that'll probably be for the Y form. But nonetheless, I hope its stats are going to be super amazing. Just depends on what the abilities are going to be. So still more to come. It is going to be behind DLC, so that is, you know, it's whatever. But the thing is, the DLC is going to be available on day one. So with that being said, you can go ahead and pay for the whole like package of the game, plus pay the $30 DLC, and then beat the game and then start the DLC right then and there. So it's going to make it kind of different for content per se. So it's not like you're playing the game and then the DLC comes out later, then you start that and we do another Let's Play because of that. So the gameplay may be kind of rushed because you want to get to all the new different Mega Evolutions and things of the sort. But what this also will tell us is that there's going to more than likely be more Mega Evolution Stones that's going to be released in the nearby future. Because not only that, we have these. The Mega Evolutions for the Kalos starters. So we have the Greninja, Delphox, and the Chestnut. Now, Greninja's, it's alright, because I think people are going to be more so, I guess I would say, overwhelmed with the Greninjas, because since it already had the Ash Greninja form, it's not going to really be that interesting per se. But the fact that it's hanging from its shuriken upside down and it's just floating, that's where it makes sense kind of with the description saying that it's actually tricking its opponents because they are mesmerized by this floating star. So that makes them then drop their guard and Greninja's able to attack. So it's interesting per se, but nonetheless, it kind of also pulls away from the nostalgia of the Ash Greninja, because it's like, Ash Greninja was super amazing, it's the only one of its kind, but then we have now other Greninjas that will just simply Mega Evolve, so it'll probably, you know, defeat an Ash Greninja. So, what if, unless it has the Battle Bond ability, since there's no longer an Ash Greninja, what if you can Mega Evolve it and then it still gains the Battle Bond? maybe you can just go ahead and do the Mega Evolution. It gets the 100 points in additional stats, and then it also gains the Battle Bond. Or it'll be like Prankster or something of the sort, since it is tricking its opponents. Or maybe it's something else. I'm not sure. With its color scheme as well, it does have some black on its body and things of the sort, so I'm not sure what its shiny will look like, being the fact that the shiny of Greninja is already black, so Mega Greninja might have to flip that color. So maybe it'll turn white, maybe it'll go green, maybe it'll turn blue. I don't know, but it'll be interesting to see what the Mega Evolution shiny will look like. But now, Delphox. Delphox is going to be pretty amazing, I believe, because this Pokemon is going to be hovering on that broomstick. It's going to give that super witch mage type vibe. It's going to hit much harder. You already know it's going to be hitting much harder. Delphox is already hitting very hard. I took it to a few different like GCs, if you all have seen those in the previous videos when we had those different streams and things like that, and Delphox was carrying me through. And for its special attack to probably only go up even higher, and if it can get just a little bit more speed, because it was shy just of that, what is it, 110 speed or something like that, just shy of that, or is it 120? Maybe just shy of 120. But if it can just get a little bit more speed, it may be able to attack opponents a little bit faster, so it can actually creep above that certain speed tier and also hit even harder. So it's going to be really taking out a lot of opponents. Then we also have the Chestnut. Chestnut is looking amazing. Now, it gives me a little bit of the Zudomon vibe, because with all the additional armor pieces, but of course it is an armor titan in itself, and having those spikes coming out on its shoulders and you just pull it off and use it as a weapon, that is looking very amazing. Still always curious for all of these, just once again, what their shinies are going to look like, so I am actually thrilled about that. It's now still hard to really say what it's going to do. Is it just going to basically just hit that much harder? Is it going to be slower? I would hope that Chestnut may get a little bit more speed, but I don't want it to give like all of its points into speed. That'll kind of be worthless. So maybe it doesn't need the speed. Maybe it'll just even drop its speed even more, and it'll be a perfect Trick Roomon or something of the sort. I don't know. It's a little bit difficult to kind of gauge where Chestnut is going to go with things. Now, one thing about these Mega Evolution Pokemon is that their Mega Evolution Stones are going to be tied behind the ranked battles. So you are going to have to hop onto the ranked battles, but more than likely, the way how it always is going to be is that you probably have to do 1 or 2 ranked battles for the season, or 3, something of the sort, and then you'll be able to qualify for it. So that's all you got to do. It's not really that big of a deal, but the fact is you are going to have to wait. More than likely it's going to be about 3 months before you have access to all 3 of these. So Greninja is going to be in Battle Season 1, and that's going to be starting October 16th, and then following Season 1, which should be, I would say, usually the seasons are from like the first of the month to the end of the month, but if we're starting mid-October, it may go through the end of November, since it's allowing people to get the game, and then we may then go from November 1st through the end of November for Battle Season 2. So that's going to be for the Delphox site. And then we will just follow the same procedure, and then we'll go for the Chestnutite for the Chestnut in Battle Season 3. Now, some people I've noticed are going to be upset about that, but what I'm noticing here is that we already are getting a ton of new Mega Evolutions. They cannot give us so many to where you won't be able to really focus on the different Mega Evolutions that they've already given us. So this is why some of these are put behind the DLC. Yes, you won't be able to have as much fun because you're not able to play through the game with these Pokemon. However, maybe, possibly, we will be able to trade the Pokemon with these Mega Evolution Stones. If you have somebody that you can trade with, that will be the important thing. Maybe Pokemon Home might be updated, or maybe you'll always be able to download it. I'm not 100% sure, but because let's say, for example, if you want to play through the game multiple times, let's say if you need to get additional starters and you can't get all starters in this game, or maybe it'll be like Legends Arceus where you can still get them, but maybe not. So if you're not able to get all of the starters and you have to play through the game multiple times, then you'll just have to start it up again, and then use those like items and have it in the game. If you transferred it to one person and then started up your new game, got to the point where you can trade and have them trade that item back over to you got to have somebody that you can trust that you can actually have that done, if that is going to be the case. Or maybe you can re-download it. I'm not sure how they're going to do it, but then in maybe a future replay of the game, you can say, oh, I'm going to be able to use one of my favorite starters. That's going to be it. Unfortunate, yes, but it is what it is. And participating in these battle seasons is going to be a way that kind of gets you into the new battle mechanics against real people. Because even some of the gameplay that you see when you're just moving around with the different Pokemon or enemies or things of the sort, it's alright. But if you're going against real people, it'll give you more of that like Pokemon Unite style. And that actually may be a bit more fun. So I believe that may give a good bit of variety in terms of like things you can do with the game, the content we can make here on these videos and things of the sort. So it may be a bit more fun, maybe. So it's hard to tell. Now, one thing I will say, now all of you know I am one that speaks completely honest about the games and things of the sort. Yes, I am excited about these Mega Evolutions, and I'm also excited about how we can take it into the future battle systems of, like, let's say in terms of VGC. However, yes, we cannot put the Pokemon back into older games if once we bring them over into the Legends ZA. It is what it is, because it's not like you really go back and forth that much. And games are going to be moving over to Pokemon Champions anyway for the tournaments. That means once you put the Pokemon in the Pokemon Home, that is where you're going to access them for a Pokemon Champion. So it doesn't really matter. So I'm not really too concerned about that. So that's not necessarily a negative thing for me. What is a negative, unfortunately, is the gameplay. And I'm going to show up just a couple clips. They'll just actually be showing up here. And it's even with the different Mega Evolutions and things of the sort. Yes, they came out with the new latest trailer, and you can see that the gameplay looks a little bit smoother than what I was even seeing in the past. But then when they were even shown with Mega Victory Bell, things just looked a little bit, as I would say, bland or empty. You know, you have your character just running and you see the Mega Victory Bell just bouncing along. As it was even bouncing, it seems as though it was still moving forward as it was landing. This could have been on a Switch 1 variant. Maybe that is what they would get using that for the gameplay. But nonetheless, yes, things look pretty in terms of the structures and things of the sort. It has a good bit of detail, but yet at the same time, things seem a bit empty at the very same time. I know that's a little bit weird to say, but then even when you have some of the animation for the moves, you had the demonstration for the Mega Hawlucha, I was like, oh yes, Mega Hawlucha's here. But then they showed it going against the Machamp inside of the game, and I was like, oh, well, this doesn't look that great, because you're doing these moves or it keeps doing the pose, and it's like, okay, yes, you're just standing there doing a pose. I would expect for a game like this at this particular point in time to have a bit more fluidity of its actions, not just standing there doing a pose. And even the characters are doing the same exact poses that they've been doing in previous games, and there's still no voice acting. So nonetheless, I will still give that critique that this is something that needs to be improved upon, because we have been playing these games for what, almost 30 years now. This should be a thing that we should be updated by this point in time. Come on. I mean, it is what it is. If things are just always quiet on the sidelines and you're just walking through, it doesn't even give anything to say. A character may just say something. You're just hearing Pokemon cries, but it's not like, you know, they're saying their name like in the anime or anything of the sort. It's just, you just hear the cry. And it's like, okay, but give me something to where it's going to keep the scene alive, fully alive. So that is one thing that I will say is one of my critiques that I have about this game. But maybe in hopes for the development of the Gen 10, maybe they'll go into it. But at this point in time, it's gone on 30 years. More than likely, they're probably not going to do that. So that is kind of the unfortunate thing. But nonetheless, again, I am very excited about the different Mega Evolutions that we're going to be going into. And the fact that we are also going to be having the DLC with all these different Mega Evolution stones are going to be very amazing, because we'll be able to get something like Mega Flygon, maybe some of the other Mega Evolutions that I was talking about in my previous video. Maybe they'll get a Mega Nidoking, Mega Yanmega. That will be an interesting name, but it will be something quite interesting to see on all the different Mega Evolutions that they're going to come out with in the near future. So this is going to be a game of mega proportions. Just that's the way it's just going to be, and it will be a way how, on terms of Pokemon Champions, it will continue to update, because as long as they allow Mega Evolutions in the VGC battles, new Pokemon are going to be allowed. So therefore, this is why it's going to be kind of a race that you want to get through the game, you want to hop into the DLC, get those new Pokemon, get access to them, because they are going to be very important when you are wanting to prepare on Pokemon Champions in terms of VGC. So that's where my take is on that. So most of it is good. I like the concept of a lot of these Mega Evolutions, the Mega Hawlucha, the Mega Victory Bell, the Mega Dragonite. All of that's honestly good to me. The Mega Raichus, obviously, number ones. Those are my boys. Let's go. We have the Kalos starters. All of these are great. It's just the gameplay. Gameplay is a bit lackluster, but at the same time, I've seen other videos where things are moving pretty smooth on the Switch too, so that's great. But nonetheless, I still would like to see a little bit more action on how the Pokemon are just basically moving and things of the sort, because I think at this point in time, it should be a little bit more interactive and some voice acting. Maybe we can get that very soon, because it just needs to liven up the scene. But that's just my take. I'm curious to know what you all think about it. Leave a comment below and share your thoughts. While you're down there, leave a like, share, subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you know when the next video goes live. And with that being said, this is going to be the Raichu signing off. You all know what to do. You stay strong, and you always power on. Catch y'all later.